What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. You got myself, Tommy. We got Akeem here and Abib here today. As always, a latecomer is going to join us shortly. Saeed. Um, he's not all embarrassed, but he's always late to. And we can't afford to be waiting around for him to get started. But what's happening, boys? You boys good?
Yeah, it's been a week of mixed emotions, to say the least. Very mixed emotions, but yeah, I can't complain, man. All good, all good.
You was banking on that FA Cup, for, weren't you?
Yeah, I was telling everyone, but Chelsea were clever. What they did, they just announced the Alonso signing straight afterwards. So it's like
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
softens, it
You're,
softens the blow a little bit.
yeah, you're right about that. That was very tactical. Very tactical.
And to
They
be
knew
honest,
what was gonna come.
it worked. So I can't even blame you. It worked.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah. No, we like. There's a lot to go into in regards to that Xabi Alonso appointment, because obviously we touched on it last week. We never thought it was. Well, I didn't think it was going to happen based
I
on
didn't think it was gonna happen either.
But to be fair, I don't know what source you was using, a bib. Your source seems to be right. Your source seems to be right, but we'll touch on it. But I think a lot they had to give a lot in order to get that appointment over the line. But we'll touch on what that appointment may look like, and in terms of like what sort of control he's gonna have when he does come into the club. But we'll get into Chelsea in a bit. But look, before we get started, people, if you can please subscribe to the channel. We're nearing to the end of the season. I am gonna obviously be doing I'm gonna be recording all summer actually, because usually what we tend to do is take a break. But I'm gonna be quite active all summer. If some of the boys are free as well, they'll be we'll discuss signing and whatever it is. So please don't miss out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the like button, turn on your notifications to know whenever we upload. And yeah, man, comment as well. Ask questions, and we will answer it whenever we're back on recording. And comment on whatever we discuss on today's episode. Where should we start? Let's just start with the Arsenal game, Akeem. Since the game just finished, nervy game. I didn't think it was going to be that type of game. I thought you were just going to batter them. So I went to the gym, so I missed the start of the game. So I was checking the update and I kept on seeing 0-0. I was thinking, what's going on here? What? I thought it would have been 2 or 3 by like 10, 15 minutes, but the nerve is really getting to them. And I do feel like they will learn a lot from this. As long as they just got to get this over the line, they're going to learn from this down the line when they are going for a future like title. If you do anyway, but what was your thoughts, man? What was your thoughts on only beating them 1-0? Because as you know, potentially it can still go to like goal difference. And playing Burnley at home, you would have thought you would have got a bit more goal just to go ahead of City, and with the goal difference at the moment, you're bank level goal difference. If they win tomorrow, then they go ahead of you with a goal difference. So what are you thinking?
Our objective is clear. Screw the goal difference, get the points. Like plain and simple. We got the 3 points today. Get the 3 points again on Sunday. It's plain and simple. But it was a nervy game. I thought the first half we played okay. I thought credit to Burnley. They set up well. Came with a game plan. Came to frustrate, and it was working. It was working until we did what we do best: score from set pieces. So once that went in, our nerves calmed down a little bit. We tried to play. The team tried to play. I have to give the manager credit. He did something that I never expected him to do. He played Odegaard and Eze in the same team, with just Rice. I was gobsmacked. I was like, where's this been? Who kidnapped my manager? Who's this imposter?
It was against. He probably thought Burnley have zero threat.
Yeah, but bro, I've seen him play super many Rice against Wolves. So
yeah.
At home,
I've been saying it should be in games like this. There's no way you need 2 pivot players especially when you're at home. So, but look, and I'm guessing it will put more threat to like Burnley defense if they know they're going up against like what's his name, Eze and Odegaard rather than Rice, Zubimendi and Odegaard.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Realistically, we knew the only thing Burnley could do is just park the bus and hope for a 0-0 draw. So
yeah,
he had to just put all of his attacking guns on there to just try and break them down. Really. So
but from what we've seen with this manager, can we say that he would? Well, like we can't say that he would have done what he did today. Like there's no guarantee. Like he would have probably at best I would have hoped that he would have played Rice and Miles Lewis-Skelly with either Odegaard or Eze. I never expected to see Odegaard, Eze, and Rice midfield. Honest to God, but I was happy to see that. I thought that was very refreshing. I thought that showed intent. I wasn't. It was either Havertz or Yokerezi. It didn't matter to me who started. To me, they're both as bad as each other, or as good as each other, whichever way you look at it. It was a decent performance. It was only in the second half when we couldn't get the second goal. That's when it started getting a bit nervy, and then Burnley now tried to start playing. I think they could sense the nerve of the team and the nerve of the crowd. So they tried to come out a bit more, and they had a little bit of joy with the ball. Not nothing too threatening, but you could see that they were trying to play. If only we could have got the second goal, that would have calmed the nerves down. But all in all, great job done by the guys. 3 points in the bag, 1 game to go. Let's go to Palace and seal this title.
Cool.
Hopefully Bournemouth do us a favor tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like by this time tomorrow, it can be done. You can be champions by this time tomorrow. What are you boys thinking? Do you think Bournemouth does a favor?
Nah, I think Man City beat Bournemouth, and I think Crystal Palace, Mateta and them, they have something in store for Arsenal. Against Eze, they want some retribution after he left.
Bro, it has been announced that Pep is leaving at the end of the season. That was just announced right before we jumped on.
Serious? So, I ain't see that. We're down. Oi.
Yeah, that's the official out as well.
Yeah. Any words for this Pep? His service. We'll obviously touch on it at the end of the season. But any words on Pep?
Pep is greedy. That's what he is. So no, but to be fair, like 20 titles, 20 cups in 10 years, that is an amazing haul. And he's definitely left his mark in the Premier League. Changed it for the better.
Saeed, sorry, I have to correct you there. He's left his mark on football, period.
Yeah, but obviously we're talking about just Premier League, isn't it?
But we don't know whether he's totally done in managing or not. We just know we and see for now.
And the thing is, like some people might have negative views on like the way he plays, in terms of it's boring and whatnot. Like I still think like a lot of the football is still interesting. It's just like when teams copy him, that it kind of makes it a bit boring. So like no teams have been able to replicate what Man City have done for and when teams do try and copy the way he plays, always bring something else, something new to kind of throw the span in the works. So yeah, it's been amazing what he's done. He's definitely gonna be Hall of Famer kind of thing. Still, just because of sentiment, don't know if he's gone surpass Alex Ferguson for me in my opinion, but he's made it a debate, which is incredible to say, isn't it? So,
I can't lie. For me personally, he surpassed him just for the fact that it's not just about the titles he's won. Bro, the guy's literally changed football. Like he changed how everyone plays the game, and I think the biggest hallmark of his effect on the game is that all the other managers that are doing well are all somehow linked to Pep Guardiola, Maresca, Arteta, Xabi Alonso, even Enrique. He came in after Pep Guardiola's stint at Barcelona as well. Company at Bayern. Like, come on, like, how can a man leave his footprint over all the football? And the only people he can even compete are people he's studied under him. Like Alex Ferguson was great.
The only thing I would say, like, as in, I don't know, this might be an unpopular opinion, but like, as in, like, he's probably had the biggest rivalry with Klopp, if you get what I'm saying. But the Paula managers that he's gone against aren't as fierce as like Alex Ferguson Paula managers. The Paula manager Alex Ferguson would have gone against. But at the same time, like, as in, his rivalry with Klopp was amazing and something that I can definitely say shaped Premier League, made things really interesting. Like, you know, them going for 95, 96, 97 point seasons and whatnot is just amazing. But yeah, like, as in, maybe it's just because of bias or whatever, but I still think Alex Ferguson does it for me. But I think the main thing is that he put the debate out there, and like, you can have a debate about it, and everyone will have their opinions about it. But yeah, for him to do that, yeah, that's just amazing, man.
Yeah,
but as I said, he's been greedy, so sort of, mate. Like, let someone else.
Yeah. Look, that's another discussion for another day in terms of like the Sir Alex and Pep. But it's
let me quickly say something on that. For me, as an Arsenal fan, so I have no skin in the teeth. It's Sir Alex for me, and like I said, Tommy said, there's a big laundry list of reasons why I will say Alex ahead of Pep. But as for another day, we can go into this. We could be here for hours.
Yeah, as I said, we definitely something that we can definitely go into another day. But I don't agree. I don't disagree with anything that Abib is saying as well in terms of like. So because as a United fan, I'm never going to say anyone's better than Sir. Like, it is what it is. So it's just I'm always going to be biased when it comes to that. But I will also never knock anyone saying Pep. I don't think it's blasphemy. Yeah, I don't think it's blasphemy for you to say that. I think there's definitely a debate to have there. And coming from me, like, trust me.
Yeah, the bias.
I love, bro. You think Sir Alex is my father, bro?
Yeah,
I love that guy, bro.
He's dad and granddad.
Bro, you can't, bro. The guy can't do any wrong for me. But nah. So, but I do honestly think like it's definitely a debate to be had, and I will never knock anyone saying Pep is better than Sir Alex, because for what he's done in football is definitely, and the impact he has in the game is something that we're going to talk about for a long time. So, but look, let's park that to the side for now. We'll discuss Pep at the end of the season and what that may look like for the rest of like the clubs come next season, because it just basically opens up the Premier League, an opportunity for another manager to go out there and dominate the league. So it's going to be interesting, but that's a big discussion for the end of the season. So maybe next week. While we wait for City to play tomorrow, they did play the Chelsea on the weekend. The FA Cup final. It didn't really feel like a proper FA Cup final day. I don't know what it is. Maybe because it was played during the season.
You don't have no fans. Yeah, I see you don't have no fans.
Yeah, maybe because we played during the season, and the game wasn't the best of game. It was okay. The second half started to get a bit more interesting, but it wasn't the best of game. But nevertheless, I think the goal was a brilliant goal. So, having said that, nevertheless, City won the game. 2 titles already. They still can potentially win the Premier League, depending on what happens tomorrow and last day of the season. But as a Chelsea fan, Abib, I know you're making a lot of noise around the fact that you felt like he was going to win the title this season. I mean, win the trophy this season, and that hasn't been the case. How do you feel about we don't need to go into the game to forget the game. How do you now feel about not winning that FA Cup?
Just to correct you, I believe we have won a trophy this season. We won the Club World Cup. I think you could argue for that.
Is that not last season's trophy? We can't. You're not carrying that into this season, though, right? That's surely last season's trophy.
That's a debate to be had. But in terms of this trophy, the FA Cup, that I'll be honest, I am disappointed. I'd be lying if I didn't say there was a gut instinct in me that thought we could do it. And to be fair, we lost to a great goal. Like, if someone scores a intricate flick like that to win the game, it's like, what can you really do? But Yeah, it's just embarrassing. I think I saw stats like 7 finals in Wembley or something like that. And we just lose every one of them, and yeah, it's terrible. It's horrendous. Like, you can't, like, what's the point of even just going to these finals if we're just going to keep on losing, right?
Yeah. So put yourself on mute, please, because if you're typing, it's distorting the noise. Yeah. Sorry, go on, Abby.
But yeah, no. So obviously, like losing in the final is disappointing, and it just kind of caps off what's been a disappointing season, really and truly, right? It's one that started with a lot of promise, and it's just completely withered and dithered away. But sometimes things happen for a reason, and I think obviously when you're in this moment and you're in the hurt, it's not a nice feeling. But I feel like this season almost needed to happen for the lessons to be taught to the owners, and I think those lessons had to be as harsh as possible to get some of the most stubborn, idiotic people to realize, hold on a minute, 4 years in, 2 billion spent, and we've only got Champions League once in 4 years. Maybe there's something. Oh, like 10,000 managers as well. Maybe there's something we're not quite doing right. And if that's what it's taken to lead to us being in the opportunity to thankfully get probably one of the managers with the most impressive CV out there, and to not only get him, but to also give him the control, I think hopefully this is just something that's had to happen that's going to make it worth it in the long while, because as bad as the season's been, I can honestly say that I'm excited for the future. And I think that's what's kind of made me a bit more positive this weekend, and to not be too down in the dumps about our league position, about the FA Cup position, because I've got a lot of hope that with Alonso coming in as the manager, not the head coach as well, hopefully that means a change in strategy that can lead to a lot of success. I mean, it's already working, right? Pep Guardiola heard that Alonso got announced and he decided to run away because he was already he didn't want to smoke.
No, there we go.
He saw the aura farming that Alonso was doing. He's like, yeah, do you know what? It's time to let another Spaniard take the reins. We cannot compete. So yeah, no, it's exciting times. It's exciting times. What do you guys think of the appointment? Because I know you guys were skeptical that was even going to happen. So
yeah, I think you're right. Look, I was going off the fact. I was going based on Graham Hunter when he was on TalkSports. And to be fair to Graham Hunter, it was very adamant that it wasn't going to happen. But the reason why it was adamant it wasn't going to happen was more because of the regime that you had in place, where you had a head coach, where the board was taking control of a lot of things that was happening in Chelsea. And obviously, if you were to believe some of the rumors, part of the reasons why Maresca left was because they were trying to control the squad, the players that he plays as well, when players can play and when players can't play. And they was encouraging him, trying to have some level of influence in the team that he picks. If you were to believe that, then knowing what Xabi Alonso has also been through at Real Madrid and the success he had in Leverkusen, and the reason why he had that level of success because he had a level of control of the players that come in and out of the club. So you never thought that was going to be the case, but I'm guessing as you said, the board come to the realization that things can no longer go forward with using the same regime, knowing that they over the past few years they haven't been successful with what they've been successful with, some trophies, but it's not it hasn't amounted to anything this season, especially the disaster that you've had this season. So yeah, that was more the reason why I was hesitant in him coming. But
I think with us, it's just the stars aligned. I think the stars, and I think you had every right to be hesitant for that reason. But it's just all the stars aligning. I think Maresca having some level of success and falling out with the board, and then the team just collapsing, which probably just made the board realize, okay, cool, like we had a manager that was doing well, and us interfering, us butting all the time shows that maybe we don't know what's happening, maybe our knowledge isn't the best, and maybe we need to look at what the other teams are doing. Man City, Arsenal, they've got their figurehead and they all just back around him. And I think it just mirrors, the time is perfect because it mirrors Alonso's time at Real Madrid, where the same thing happened. He fell out with some of the players. He fell out with Vinicius. I think there was arguments with Jude and the players like that, where he had his style. He wanted to implement his style, and some of the guys they didn't really like it. They didn't really like the fact that this guy wanted to be the guy and put all those egos in check. The players at Real Madrid, they wanted their egos massaged. They wanted to have a say, and at the time when they started to fall away, I was actually watching a video about what led Alonso to leave Real Madrid. And I think he actually won 13 of his first 14 games. And it was after the first El Clasico where it all went wrong. So Real Madrid actually won that first El Clasico 2-1. But he stopped off Vinny in like the 70th minute. And Vinny was pissed, saying, "Oh, why is it always me? I'm going to leave. Why is it always me?" And since then the dressing room clique started to form. And that's what eventually led to the bad run of results over and the manager. And look, time reveals all. Time reveals the truth, because at the time you might be thinking, okay, maybe Alonso's washed, but what really was evident is that they needed a culture change, because now Real Madrid are rotten to the core. People are punching each other up. They're turning into WWE right now. They're falling away 2 years in a row without winning any trophies. And I think looking at what's happened at Chelsea, it's probably why Chelsea thought, do you know what? We can't do this model. We need to go with the Arsenal Man City model and just give the manager control.
Yeah, I didn't think Xabi Alonso came out of that job looking bad.
Yeah.
I think anyone that watched football in detail and have a good understanding of what happens at Real Madrid, what type of club that is, you would know that it's got nothing to do with him. And as you said, rightly so, it started off very well. It all stems from him making decisions that he thought was best for the team. But in Real Madrid, that is not what it's all about. It's all about the players in Real Madrid.
That's for the individual.
You don't really have coaches or like tacticians to manage it. You need a manager. And we'll talk about Mourinho going there. And it's the reason why Mourinho fits that model. You need a man manager that can manage the players. You don't really a man manager that can send them out to the pitch, organize them well, and just tell them to get the job done, and they will go and get the job done. That's what's worked for Real Madrid over the years. And I think Xabi Alonso going there, I don't know what expectation he had going there, but for someone that's been in that club before, he should have known better. And I said, and Chelsea is probably the right spot for him at the moment. And what I said last week, which I still stand on, is it's an attractive club if you just look at their squad.
Yeah.
If you look at the squad, that the players that they've got at their disposal, I don't know what manager will look at that. The only thing that's going to put them off will be the board. Yeah. If a manager look at the squad and think, look at the quality that they have in the squad, they'll be more than happy to work with that. He's going to look at that squad. He's going to look at what he worked with it at Leverkusen. And then he's now seeing this squad with Cole Palmer, João Pedro, Enzo.
Upgrade, basically.
Exactly, upgrade to a lot of those positions that he was working with in Leverkusen. He's gonna be licking his lips, and on top of that, the board has now promised him that we're gonna do things your way. Like I think for him, really.
Well, I hope the board don't keep that promise.
Yeah, and that is the next question, and that was what I was gonna ask. So maybe because I ain't spoken on it, you tend to get this a lot where board makes promises. Amorim was one. The board knew what they was getting when they got Ruben Amorim. Now all of a sudden you start to interfere with how he wants to play football. What would your thoughts be? Because it's all great saying you're a manager, but results determine how things goes. If you're not getting results, then
very quickly on that one, though, I think with the Amorim one, I think Man United tried to back him, but it just got to a point where it was so bad, like it was so bad that somebody had to step in. You know what I mean?
But I don't think they didn't sack him because
of results.
Though. That's not why Amorim got sacked.
He
They didn't
got
sack
sacked because
Amarim
he wanted
because of
money
it.
and they weren't giving him money.
Exactly. They want money, and he's not willing to change the way he wanted to play football. So they didn't sack Amarim because of results. People are on about it's not because of the results that's why he was sacked.
Remember, Man United were like 5th when he
Yeah.
got sacked.
Yeah, when we got sacked, yeah.
To be 100% honest, like as in obviously like results were like a factor, but weren't the main reason in it. But I think with Amarim also, like if you listen to reports, like as in they did try and tell him to change, like especially when he did change the formation for one of the games and we got success from it. They were saying, "Well, go back to that kind of thing in it, like just to win and whatnot." But to touch on Chelsea, I think like Leopard never changed its spots. I've been saying, so they have promised him quite a bit. I do feel like for example, if you're looking at Maresca won you quite a bit if you get, or not quite a bit, but he won you some trophies. He won the Club World Cup, which brought you a lot of revenue, made you get a stronger position financially as well. So if you're going to back someone properly, why are you not going to back him? I do feel like they have said a lot, but maybe at the beginning they might loosen the reins a bit. But I do feel like they might go back to the old ways. Maybe it won't be as blatant or as intrusive as they were with Maresca, so trying to tell them to play certain players, etc. Especially if results are going their way. But I do feel like they will be stepping in, or for example, if they're promising him full rein on transfers, they might put pressure on him and say, well, you're going to have to get X amount of young players bedding free because that's their model. So I don't think it will be, because the main thing for me, and it's clear for me to see, but it's clear for a lot of people in football to see, is all you need for that squad is to put a bit of experience around it and you'll be fine. And I feel like that's something that Xabi Alonso would want to do, but they might still, like maybe not this window, but another window, they might put pressure on him to have bedding new players, whatever, or for a lot of the players that they have bought, that they do want to protect their value, they'll be saying, okay, but you do have to play these kind of players. So I feel like, like they will offer the range, but I don't think it will be completely him taking all the decisions. And to an extent also though, like I don't feel like a lot of clubs can be built for managers just to take the full range of decisions. Yes, you got the Arsenals, yes, you got the Man Cities, but most of the clubs won't be built like that. So it's not going against what happens in football, but at the same time, I don't feel like they've said they're promising him full range. I don't feel like they will keep to that in the long run. And also, it just depends on how successful he is as well. So yeah,
I do hear your point, but the reason why I think this is actually different is because of the fact that I think what happened with Maresca, the reason why they butted in is because I think at some level they thought Maresca's success was their success. They thought all of the things Maresca was doing was because of them, and they kind of underestimated how big of a factor Maresca had in it. And also Maresca, no offense to him, but he was a bit of a nobody before he came to Chelsea, right? But I think with what happened with Maresca and him leaving, I think they realized, okay, like we probably should have listened to this guy. He knew a lot more, and I think before they thought that all of our decisions are vindicated, everything we're doing is what's helping the team succeed. Whereas after Maresca left, they realized no, our decisions wasn't the best. It's just we had a good manager who was kind of just holding everything together, being the glue to keep everything together. And once that glue left, everything just fell apart.
But to be fair, though, the only point I would say is like I don't think they're there for the long term. Like they're there to boost their value and sell on at some point, right? So they're not literally looking to protect the football at Chelsea. If it helps them boost their value, then they'll be interested in doing that. But I don't think ultimately in the long run.
Yeah, but them boosting their value will require Chelsea being successful on the pitch.
Yeah, but they were successful under Maresca. Like, that's what I'm like. I feel like they'll do everything they can to get them playing a certain way, get them entering Champions League and whatnot. But I'm not sure they're going to back him when they need to back him to get them from fourth to.
Okay. Yeah.
Or,
what do you mean to win the big things?
Yeah. So and yes, Xabi Alonso walking in there thinking, okay, like as in maybe the season or we'll have building blocks whatnot, and I feel like at some stage they will kind of be blocking his building blocks, and if that makes sense.
I only think the other reason why I kind of disagree with that as well is because, like I said before, with Maresca, he was a bit of a nobody, right? But with Xabi Alonso, it's like, I think in Chelsea Football Club's head, they think they've just bagged like the supermodel. I think they probably think they've got Miss World. And I think now they're going to do everything they can to simp for Miss World because they don't want to lose the supermodel. I think Maresca is probably any girl that they thought they could get, any chick. But with Alonso, they probably thinking like, this is an incredible manager. We need to give this guy everything he can to succeed because, I mean, let's be honest, right?
Yeah, I think Habib's right. Still, yeah. They're thinking because they've been preying Mikel Arteta. They've been preying like the whole Arsenal model, and they've been looking for like their own sort of Mikel Arteta, quote unquote. And I think Habib's right. Still,
they've been looking for their own, like you said, Arteta, and they've been trying to do it with like the Graham Potters and the Racine and all of these guys, and they realized, you know what, we actually just because I honestly do think they actually want to have a head coach that they just back for the long term, but they just keep on getting the appointments wrong. And when they found one that they could back in Maresca, they meddled in too much. So I think now they're going to learn from that. They've got Alonso, who is as close as you can get right now in football to the real deal as it can be. Like the guy overtook Bayern Munich, and the guy went undefeated in the Bundesliga. Like you can't like that's as close to the real deal as you're gonna get, right? In terms of the CV in modern day football. So I think because of that, they're gonna think like we can't afford to fumble him. We can't afford to let this guy go. And because he's got such a high status, they're gonna have to just because if Alonso leaves because he doesn't get on with the board, I swear the Chelsea fans are gonna come to Egbali's house. They're gonna come to Paul and Stanley's house. Lawrence, they're gonna burn it all to the ground. I'm telling you.
Yeah, what they call the headhunters, the Chelsea headhunters. them.
Do you think they really care about what the fans think, though? Really and truly, like, I don't think they care, though. Like honestly, but that's just my opinion.
All right, cool. They might not care what the fans think, but then now the media perspective, what's the word? Perception. The media perception on them, and as well as professionally, other managers that they might want to try and attract in the future. They'll be looking at them like, "Yo, we saw what you did to Xabi Alonso like not too long ago. Like, why are you gonna treat me any different?" Like, just
look, I think. So, just to touch on, I know what you're saying, Saeed. Yeah, they may not, even if they don't care, they have invested a lot in Chelsea, so it's got to work for them somehow, even if they're doing it for financial gain. Xabi's success has to be in correlation with any financial success that they can potentially have down the line. So they need him to work in order. Well, if we're going off the notion of they don't care about the football club, they're just there because of the financial to make money. Xabi Alonso's success is important to get correlates with whatever financial ambition that they have. So they need that to work, and it's just whether they have the patience. Look, I think Chelsea's success is solely based on them, whether they're willing to sit back or not sit back in a sense, or back Xabi, depending on whether he wants, because they might not get Champions League football next season, but even if they don't get Champions League football, I've said it. I've emphasized enough that the squad is more than good enough to even compete. I mean, to compete for the league without Champions League football, without even if they don't bring someone in, which I don't think they obviously will bring players in, but they do have a squad, like a strong squad. I think Chelsea's success is just is all dependent on them, man. If they allow him to do his job, I think he will do well. I don't see why he doesn't do well if he is the real deal. So if he is the real deal, Chelsea sit backs and allow him to buy who he wants, then that will let us know whether it is a real deal or not. Because not only according to Abe, but from what we've seen at Leverkusen, you don't dominate the German league where you have Bayern Munich. Don't get me wrong, Bayern Munich weren't the best Bayern Munich at the time, but you still dominate German league. You went unbeaten for the whole season. Then you went unbeaten to get to the Europa League final, which is narrowly lost out in the final. So yeah, absolutely anything. Go on, sorry.
Like, obviously, with me, I've got rose tinted glasses because he's my manager now. But do you guys think he's the real deal?
Yeah, I think he is.
I think he's a good manager. Yeah, I think he's a really good manager. In fact, let me not say, but also this is the Premier League, and to be fair, he's been a player in the Premier League, so you understand what the Premier League is, isn't it? But at the same time, like I just feel like he's a good manager and it's a good space for him to be at Chelsea, but there's no guarantee for success, and the Premier League is unforgiving in that kind of sense, isn't it? So let's see how he handles that. But I do think he's a top manager.
Yeah, I think he is, but as Saeed alluded to, the Premier League is a different beast. You're going up against, like, Spurs are the perfect example. So-called top 6 team fighting relegation.
So-called, I love that, Tommy. Well done.
Fighting relegation. He's never experienced that before. He's never experienced like going to battle every game of the season. That's why maybe him not playing European football might help him, because it's a different type of beast. I mean, you're battling against Burnley. Look at Arsenal today against second to bottom of the table. Burnley
relegated already. Burnley
fighting to the very last second of the game.
Yeah,
he's never probably experienced that before. So that's probably one part of his manager experience that he hasn't faced yet.
Yeah, but to be fair, the only thing I'll say about that, he's played in the Premier League, so he understands that from that kind of point of view. But how do you get tactics to?
But it wasn't the same then, though. He didn't have as much money that you. Don't get me wrong, he didn't have as much money as you did in the Premier League. He didn't where bloody West Ham or look at Sunderland, for example. They spend more than the team that won Serie A, Inter Milan. For him, do you know what I'm saying?
The only point I'm making is that he understands the Premier League. Like, he's not coming not understanding what the Premier League is, isn't it? That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, no, he understands the Premier League, but there's a difference between being a player 15, 20 years ago in the Premier League and being a manager in the Premier League today. There's a big difference.
But to be fair, we say this, like, obviously the Premier League is as tough as it gets, but a lot of the managers who come in, we've seen managers who come in from a different league and have success pretty quick in the Premier League as well, to be fair. If you look at Slot, obviously he's not doing well now, but in Scott's first season in the league as well, Iraola had a good start in his first season. De Zerbi's first season at Brighton, he was kind of off to the good start as well.
He sustained it though as well.
Listen, the Premier. Listen, there's one thing that we can all agree on. The Premier League will reveal if he is the real deal. It will tell us whether he is the real deal or not. This is because this league is unforgiving, and it don't matter. You could be bottom of the table, lost 6 games in a row, going up against title challengers, and that could be your day where you turn it all around. And Xabi Alonso, as a manager, as a player, he's probably experienced it, but as a manager in this league, like we see managers get found out as well. Like, they have a wicked first season, and in the second season, they get found out, and they can't replicate what they did in the first season. So we'll see.
I have faith in Alonso though, just purely because of the fact that the guy's a winner. Like, the guy's used to just winning wherever he goes, and I think it's that winning mentality. And if he's given the keys to, like he said, to change the mentality of the team and building his image, I think that's what's going to allow us to be able to stay fighting on a consistent level in the league for as many years as possible.
Yeah, look, there's a lot of positive, and there are obviously challenges that he's going to face as well. Look, one of the positive will be, like, I think he's a manager that the player are going to respect instantly. Not only as a manager, but what he was as a player. So Xabi Alonso is one of my favorite players ever. To just put it out there. So I can't lie to you. I don't want him to fail.
I want him to fail.
Xabi Alonso, Michael Carrick, those type of players are my favorite.
Him too. I need him to fail.
I think it's so mad. Like, watching the training sessions, like, you'll probably be saying to Casado, Enzo, are you to ping the ball like this? And you shouldn't tell me how to do it.
Nah, for real. Enzo,
another conversation.
He'll make
Yeah.
Enzo better. He can make, and
Yeah.
yes, him especially. Caicedo's already got what it takes to be. He's already world class in my opinion, but Enzo isn't. And I think he can improve Enzo.
Yeah, 100%.
Another conversation I was having with my friend, but that's another topic for the day. It's just funny how we now have like midfielders managing all these top teams.
I was thinking the same.
I feel like midfielders. Look, I feel like midfielders makes the best managers. Honestly, do think so. It will make an interesting watch next season to see how they outsmart each other. Huh?
I think midfielders and centre backs.
Yeah. Oh, centre backs as well. Okay. Well, I think midfielders. But look, we'll see how it works out. But look, do you think you can still make European football? I know last week we talked about it, you will still like to make European football. It doesn't really matter what tournament it is. You still want to be there. Do you think you can still make European football? Because you're not too far off.
I've come with a stat, guys, as well. I didn't think it's. I haven't been checking the table because Chelsea have been terrible. But I saw on Twitter today, and apparently there's actually still a chance Chelsea somehow can make Champions League. So I'll read the rules.
How can you still make Champions League? How
they can?
How. I didn't really believe it, but apparently it's true. So if we beat Tottenham and Sunderland, we win the rest of our games. If Aston Villa win Europa League and lose to Man City, if Liverpool beat Brentford, if Bournemouth lose to Forest, and if Brighton lose or draw to United, Chelsea somehow, some way might grab. It's not going to
finish sixth.
happen, but yeah.
There is a lot of if there, but I do think it can happen. I do think it can happen.
I was thinking the best, and there's me thinking that best you lot can hope for is Europa League.
No, I think the results, and that's why I sent a message in the group. The result on the weekend would favor Chelsea. So if none of them really got a win, everyone that was on top of them, Everton didn't win, Brentford didn't win. Who else is there? Brighton didn't win.
Bournemouth are playing tomorrow.
Bournemouth are playing tomorrow. So the results really favor them, and then they've obviously got Spurs at home tomorrow. But I think they have to beat Spurs to be in a shout to get that top six.
Come on, Chelsea.
I think that was that time. Obviously, you're talking about Champions League, but what would you take, Europa League or the Conference League?
Yeah, I'll take any, to be honest. It's kind of from a selfish point of view, but I just like watching my team play football. So I'd hope to watch as many games as possible. Like, I'm sure for you guys as United fans, it's probably been a little bit like sad not to see your team play as often. Obviously, it's worked to your favour because you've got third, but I'm sure you would have still liked to have seen Man United play more often instead of having to wait every week.
If it was Europa, I want them to win. If it was a Conference League, I don't like that travel was just too unforgiving, man. I want them to win.
Yeah, it's true. To be fair, it's true.
But to be fair, we got a bigger squad as well. Like, and we got bare youngsters that would benefit from playing in European competitions, whatever it is. So, like, I think it'll be good for you if you do get that one.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking as well. I think a lot of players on our fringe squad have suffered because they're not getting any minutes, and now there's just a lot of people whose potential is wasting away. People like Joshua Trempong, like Malang Sarr, all these guys who are just, like you said, just not even the lap. Maybe if he got more minutes in the Conference League, maybe when he came to start, he'd be a bit more sharper. But
She looked like there's a player in there, so like, don't do that to him, man. Don't.
Yeah, no, there might still be a player in there. I won't write him off totally. Yeah, it wasn't the best of start with his injury, and then obviously João Pedro was on form when he came out from injury, and like obviously, yeah, it's just I'll give Rory another season, man. And I think you are right. It will, because you got such a big squad. You would need some sort of European football. Otherwise, you need to let a huge chunk of them go. If not, so I do think you need it, man. Look, let's round up. What do you expect from Chelsea next season, Abib?
I actually expect big things from us because look, it shocks me because it wasn't that long ago I was saying we was in a title race with Arsenal. Obviously, a lot's happened since then, but the fact that you can be in a title race for a period of time shows that
Bro,
right-
you weren't in the title race, man. Forget all of this.
There was a stage where like you played each other, and if you won, you could have gone on top or like. Been
No, but they say the title race don't start until after February.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just referencing what we were talking about. Yes.
But what I'm saying is, okay, you can say we're in race, but what I'm trying to say is, like, there's talent in the squad there, and if you just get the right person to nurture that talent, and I think just add a few key additions into the squad, having Levi Colwell back as well, you see the massive difference he's made in the last 2 games. There's no reason why we can't finish top 4 bare minimum, and that's, in my opinion, that's my expectations. If you take a good squad, add a good manager, add like what they're saying, experienced players in there, having Levi Colwell back, for me, if we don't get top 4 next season, I'll be disappointed. That's my minimum expectation.
But don't you reckon the competition? So don't you reckon the competition will be stiffer next season? With the likes of Aston Villa, now obviously PSR or whatever they call it, FFP. Like that's going to be a bit more lenient with them now that they made Champions League again this year. They made Champions League last season. If they win the Europa League as well, that's another bow in their string to attract players. So if you two are going for the same players and they have Champions League, they just won the Europa League. Like
respectfully, I'll be honest with you. Respectfully, I think Chelsea will get the player. Respectfully,
I agree.
I
like Villa.
I can't lie. They're gonna come.
Yeah, I agree. There's no competition between Chelsea and Aston Villa. If Chelsea won a player and Aston Villa won a player, the player will most likely look like a fool if he went to Aston Villa or ahead of Chelsea. But there are incentives that, and it does look like, if Aston Villa could show a bit more ambition than Chelsea, and also these other teams, Brentford's and Bournemouth's, finishing in European spots.
But the thing with Villa is Villa still struggles financially. They struggle to balance their books. So like they don't generate as much as these other a lot of us.
But also Bournemouth
they need to sell first before they make Champions League, but because PSR they need to meet PSR before the end of June, right? They might need to sell so they can meet the
I get you.
And then obviously factor in the Champions League money the following season. So
and I think their wage bill is at 90%, like as in like in high 90s.
Chelsea,
Aston Villa.
So,
so they definitely need to, even though the Champions League is coming in, and they're probably going to plan like they can't spend all that money in the.
They can't. They're in trouble. So Chelsea knows how to maneuver and get used.
They know how to fill the books. Yes, we know
exactly.
And in terms of your point about like, competition as well, I think the teams you mentioned, I think if anything, it works in our favour because you're mentioning Aston Villa, Brentford, Brighton. If they all get Europe, we haven't said Newcastle, but just those first 3, if they all get Europe, that's going to work against them. Look what happened to Crystal Palace when they got Europe.
They didn't invest.
Okay, true. But okay, Newcastle as well. They had Champions League this season.
They got Champions League this season. Look at them, they fell off. Yeah, you're right.
Aston Villa.
No, you're right. No, I hear you.
Man City are going through change as well now that Pep's leaving.
It's going to be an interesting season next season.
Up in the air. Liverpool hates lot, so that's another listing.
We need to.
So with all of this, I think top 4 is a minimum expectation. I think that's fair.
Yeah, fair. That's realistic.
Do you not think you're being a bit snobbish saying top 4 though, like as a minimum? Like, new manager.
No, they'll be fine.
I think they'll be fine. If they kept Maresca, they'll be.
If you think about it, they were saying that same thing about us last season as well. And there's one stat I mentioned at the beginning of the season to one of my friends. Over the last 5, 6, 7, I don't know how long it's been going back for. The top 4 has not stayed the same for 2 consecutive seasons. But it hasn't stayed the same. There's been some sort of change in the top 4. So I do think something is going to give. Well, I think the only thing that might hinder them is European football, those Thursday night footballs. But at the
Only
same
thing I
time, they've
said-
got a massive squad, so
They
if
can
keep that
balance
squad,
it,
if they don't need to sell that squad, then they'll be fine. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the only thing that will save them.
The only thing I say to that is like obviously people talked about us, but when you ask us what we think we're doing at the beginning of the season, like we were saying that getting 8th is improvement, like anything 6th to 8th, innit? So like it's just that we had to align our expectation with where things were at. And as I say, like obviously he's a top manager, but like as in there's going to be an element of learning on the job, if you get what I'm saying. Innit?
But forget Xabi Alonso. I'm talking about Chelsea's squad.
Yeah,
Do you
no,
know
I'm
how
just
good
talking
that squad is.
obviously-
Think about the squad, how good that squad is. As long as they're not getting rid of their key players, like you're not. Pieces you need to add to that.
If they add a quality centre back to partner for Fana, another left back to back up Kukurea, another winger and a striker, they're smoking 80% of the league next year. That midfield, like I said, I rate that midfield highly. Like that midfield alone is crazy.
Don't forget, this is the same midfield that's losing games. Like what didn't win like.
Xabi Alonso.
You got a good point, but you need the tactical structure there. Maresca had a good structure there. Alonso, you know he's
There's some games in that loss. I mean, in the period where you lost 6, or like as in since Liam's come in, there's some games where
that was Liam, not Maresca.
You don't need no tactics whatsoever. Just go out and win me this game. Do what you need to do. You're gonna win me this game, especially if they're as good as you're saying they are. So, like,
I agree with you in that sense. I think it's a mentality thing, and that's where having Alonso as someone who's used to winning all the time. Listen, for me, it's if Alonso does what I expect of Alonso, we should get top 4. If we don't get top 4, then Alonso is probably not the guy who I think he is. He's a catfish. Because with that squad and the backing of a few experienced players, there's no reason why Alonso, I think
it will be context in it. If he doesn't get the top 4, but you have a good season, you can still have a good season while making top 4. So it all depends on context. This is the problem in football, isn't it? Like everyone all decisions are based on results, position.
Yeah, it's results-based business.
And I get that, but if let's say United, Arsenal, the current top 4 now, right? Doesn't drop a level, and they improve as well. Bro, everyone can't make top 4.
Top 4, yeah.
You need to understand that. You know what I'm saying? Someone is gonna miss out just because let's say he narrowly misses out on 5th. Don't make him a bad manager.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's a bad manager.
That's what I'm saying, but that's what you're saying. You're saying if he doesn't get top 4, then he's not the guy you think he is. I don't think that should be.
Oh no, I get you.
To determine that because he doesn't make top 4.
You should judge him by progress. You should judge him by
judge him about how he plays. Because don't forget when
first season as a manager.
Maresca's first season is just about made top 4. What saved him was winning the Conference League and so forth. That's what saved him. So I don't think it should be that. Everyone's acting as if
top
4 or top 5 is given. Bro, look who you're competing with. Nothing is given in this league.
And that Liverpool team as well. If they get rid of Slot early and get a proper manager,
bro, nothing is given. Liverpool's got top squad. Like Liverpool ain't got. I think we are in the. As I said, I'm going to be myself and Sai. We're not going to go to United today. We're going to discuss on Thursday. But I think we're in bigger trouble if you don't get it right with the signings this summer than anyone else. Because I think your base, or Chelsea's base, Arsenal's base, City's base, is a lot. It's solid, and Liverpool's base is better than what we have as a base.
Yeah. So if Alonso comes 5th or 6th, I'm not gonna say he's a fraud, sack him. But I won't lie. Me sitting here now with the resources we have, I'll be disappointed if you don't get a top 4, because I don't think the competition is that crazy. that we can't get top 4 if we
You
just
can't
got our
compete. That Chelsea
What-
can't.
what-
No, Tom.
Look at the competition. What?
No, but Tom,
So
no,
I
you've
think
got
we-
Arsenal.
no, wait 1 second. Sorry, Tom. But I
Right.
kind of slightly hear what Habib is saying here, because remember on the Maresca, when they had Maresca, before they got rid of Maresca, they were in their top 3, top 4. That they were there until they got rid of Maresca, brought in Rosinha, and then they started falling away. So
Where did Chelsea finish Maresca's season?
last
Because
season,
remember, five teams went to the Champions League. So where did Chelsea finish? Who finished 4th and who finished 5th?
I think
Tottenham won the Europa League. No. It was 4 teams. It was 4 teams that qualified. Tottenham won the
4
Europa
teams.
League.
Okay.
Nah,
Chelsea
just
finished 4th. Liverpool first, Arsenal second, City third, Chelsea 4th.
Yeah.
and
They
Tottenham won the
did.
Europa
You're
League.
right. Yeah.
No, I think we finished. Oh yeah, we did.
No,
finish.
Newcastle was in the Champions League as well.
Newcastle
Was in the Champions League.
Oh
as well.
yeah, Newcastle finished 5th.
Yeah, we finished 4th, 3 points ahead of
Newcastle
Newcastle.
finished 5th.
But if you look at the caveat with that, so we finished 4th, but that was Maresca's first season. He took over a very dysfunction team, and he also had Conference League as well. So to finish 4th in the first season of a dysfunction team is very impressive. So, with a team that's a bit
Xabi's the better manager.
more cohesive, has more of the fundamentals, and if Alonso is a better manager than Maresca, I think it's.
Well,
I think
what makes Alonso the better manager than Maresca?
His CV.
but okay, but that's my point.
He's
So
done
that's
in England though. He's done in England.
No, but just I'm saying what makes because Maresca. Everyone discredit what he did in Championship to bring Leicester. His first job. That's his first job. I think
I'm
they
not
say his second
discrediting
job.
it.
I think as a partner.
I'm not discrediting it.
Look at Chelsea now. I mean, look at Leicester now. They didn't come back up.
Yeah,
They're relegated.
I'm not
They're on top
discrediting
of
it.
that. So I'm saying what makes, because we keep saying Xabi Alonso is a better manager. What makes him the better
Winning
manager?
the Bundesliga is a bigger and better achievement than winning the
Of
Champions
course it
League.
is, but does that make it so? It's because of the title
And
he
it's
won
harder.
that makes him a better manager.
Well,
You're saying it's harder?
It's harder.
Okay.
More.
It's
more-
harder to win a Bundesliga than the Premier League.
No, not a Premier
Let's
League
do that.
Championship.
But all I know,
I'll say
all I know in the Championship, there's about like at the beginning, there's about 10 teams that are challenging. Like in the Bundesliga, there's only like 3 teams that you can say will be challenging for the league, right? And like my thing is that I accept that he's a great manager.
I'll take that back. Championship might be harder than Bundesliga.
To my point, like as in this what I'm said, do you not think you're being a bit snobbish? Like there's so many factors that can affect.
But it's Leverkusen though. It wasn't like he did it with Bayern.
No,
Munich. He did it with
it's great what he did. I'm not taking anything away from him. Like going nearly the whole
No,
season.
I'm not knocking Xabi Alonso.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we can't just. I'm just saying that doesn't
No,
necessarily make him a better manager than
agree.
Maresca. That's my argument.
No, yeah, you made
I
me think
agree
about
with
that.
that as well.
Championship
I agree
is
with
it championship harder than Bundesliga?
I'm not
It's
saying
like-
it's harder. I'm not going to agree. I'm just saying
I'm questioning it now. You got me questioning it.
No, I think Bundesliga. I don't know, man. Championship is probably the hardest league in the world, bro. Like it might even probably be harder than the Premier League. So, but look, I think the point I'm trying to make is that
You started another debate there, Tom.
yeah, no, I think Championship is probably the hardest league in the world. I've been saying this for years. This is not something I've said now. That league is tough. But as I said, look,
I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Like I'm not saying Alonso is a better manager than Maresca. I rate Maresca very highly as well. So I don't think you can say categorically one is better than the other. The only thing you can say categorically is one has a better CV than the other. And
yeah, I agree with that.
I think if Alonso does turn out to be as good as Maresca, when Maresca had a dysfunctional team and got top 4 in the first season, now there's more foundations on there. Now we're in a better position to be able to get top 4 than when Maresca first started. So I think with all of those things together, and with the competition not being as stiff, for me, it's only United, Liverpool, City, and Arsenal who should be
competing on Newcastle next season. No Europe.
Who should be expected.
No, we can't sleep on Newcastle. Nobody's going there.
Fam, like they've really got a really good midfield going on. Yeah,
They're all leaving.
Don't give
Every single one of them.
anyone can get top 4, but those 5 teams that I mentioned are the only ones who you would expect to get top 4, is what I'm saying. So I think with that, it's fair to say that even though it's not the end of the world, it would be disappointing if we don't get top 4 next season, bare minimum. I think that's fair to say. I'm not saying Alonso is a fraud if he doesn't, or he should get sacked, because like you said, there can be mitigating circumstances, but from the position we are in today, I think top 4 is a fair expectation.
Yeah, I just think there's no dividing right to get top 4. I think everyone thinks because we're Chelsea, we're United, we're Arsenal, we will make top. Bro, there's no given right that you're going to be top 4, bro. Like you see how tough the league is, bro. You see who's competing with you for top 4. What makes you think Bournemouth is still not going to compete with you next year? Or what makes you think Brighton won't compete with you next year?
That's what I said.
You're just ruling this team out as if they haven't been there the last 2 years. But you're saying
they've been improving year in, year out.
They can do that, but if Bournemouth do finish ahead of us, is that not disappointing? If Bournemouth finished ahead of you guys, would you not be disappointed?
Yeah, I'll be disappointed, but that's what the Premier League is.
But hear me out. It's disappointing one season. One season, you could say it's a fluke. 2 seasons in a row, that is not a fluke. In this league.
Yeah.
One season they finish ahead of you, disappointed. Next season, if they finish ahead of you again, you can't be disappointed. Like they did their job.
Can I just say on that though, like it's disappointing for where Chelsea, the points tally Chelsea's got. That's why it's disappointing, right?
Yeah, this season.
This season. That's the only reason why it's disappointing that they're finishing on top of it. If they have a storm next season and somehow end up on 80 points and Chelsea won like 75 points, you can't say you're going to be disappointed by it.
They did their job. And back-to-back seasons, they finished ahead of you.
Or Man United, for example. Man United, if we end up on 75 points next season and one of these teams end up on 80 points, I can't say I'm necessarily disappointed. Like, if you get what I'm saying, because at the end of the day, if we end up on 75 points, we'll be on more points than we are this season. So, and that's why I mean it all goes to context. But
yeah. Look, it's a lot to obviously unpack, innit? But we'll see where Chelsea gets, where you finish next season. It all depends, because I'll be honest with you, I can sit here and tell you, I can't guarantee Man United will make top 4 next season. I can't. Because I honestly think all the other teams have a better squad than us. I think Chelsea have a better squad than us. Arsenal have a better squad than us. Like Liverpool has a better squad than us. So I can't sit here and say that we'll be ahead of all these teams next season. At the end of the summer, if we sign good players, then my thoughts on this can change at the end of the summer. But we sit here right now, and I think what really helped us this season is that we was only playing 1 game a week. So I think that helped us massively. So I'm not knocking what Carrick has done or anything like that. I can't comfortably sit and tell you that we'll finish in the top 4. It will be nice to compete, but it all depends. I said it all depending on the players that we sign. Then I can tell you what United can potentially do next season. If we don't sign good players, we'll see.
It's true. It's a cliche, but it's a cliche because you say it every season. But the window is key. Like the window will be key for you guys, for us as well.
Yeah. Look, let's round up on Chelsea because we spent a lot of time. But the purpose of this episode was to spend time on Chelsea anyway. It still feels that we haven't even finished yet, so there's still a lot to unpack when it comes to Chelsea. But let's just quickly spend the last 10 minutes on Liverpool and like Mo Salah. I think Gary Neville probably summed it up in one of his interviews when he said he had a grenade in his hand walking out of the changing room, and he dropped the grenades in the changing room as he was walking out. It took the pin out, whatever it is. I think that was probably the perfect analogy to use for his statement. And just to provide context for people that don't know what we're talking about, after the Villa game, after Liverpool lost to Villa, Mo Salah posted on Instagram, on social media, should we say? I'm not sure where it was, but I saw it on Instagram where he questions where Liverpool going forward and questions how to play football, and it feels like in order for them to be successful moving forward, then we need to play that rock and roll football. Him alluding to Klopp style football, and also
And not Slot.
and yeah, pretty much saying that Slot doesn't play that type of football. I'll be honest with you.
With him last season, they won the league playing Slot's football last year, though. So I don't get it.
They didn't play Slot football last year. That was Slot football last year.
Yeah, I think it was hybrid. I agree with Saeed. I think it was still hybrid last year. I think this year was probably when he really wanted to step into his own, and he didn't. He hasn't been successful doing that. Look, Mo Salah's wrong. Like, I love it because obviously he's not us as Liverpool. But if I'm honest, if I'm being honest, like I think he's doing them dirty. Like he's really throwing a guy under the bus, bro. Like, if anything, you're applying more pressure next season. So come October next season, if
they lose their first game, they lose their first game of the season.
Yeah, if they have a
first game, and Chelsea win their first game. Chelsea win their first game.
And I think what's making the matters worse, I think, is the fact that Chelsea has now secured Xabi Alonso. And Slot is still there. And you know Liverpool fans are getting Xabi Alonso. So they've now missed out on Xabi Alonso. And I'm guessing that's probably another reason why Chelsea had to wrap up that Xabi Alonso deal quickly, as soon as possible. What was you guys' thoughts on his statement, and how do you think it's going to impact Slot going into next season?
Can I just say, you guys are laughing at Slot, yeah? Like, don't write him off. Like, let's see what he does next season.
No, I'm not laughing at him. I'm
talking about Akeem and these two. Like,
I'm laughing at Liverpool.
Okay, fair enough, yeah. Like obviously, like, but Salah's got previous priors for doing this as well, innit? Just trying to throw Slot under the bus, and it just seems like something's happened between them. Obviously, you know that you don't trust Salah to be the main man this season, and quite rightly so. Like with his performance, with his output, especially he was playing in at the beginning of the season. Like, I understand you don't want to be dropped. I understand like you have an ego, but you have to understand where you are in your career as well. So yeah, like as in, I feel like he definitely like said this to do him dirty, and like what I think is even worse actually, I don't know if it's the players or their manager, their teams, whatever, but quite a few players have actually liked the comments. So
I saw that.
It's one thing that Salah's going, yeah, but all the players, social media,
all the big players too.
Huh?
All the big players liked it.
Yeah, well, I don't even know what players, but I know there's a contingent, like definitely a few players have done it, and that's what I would find more alarming for Slot, because it kind of shows unrest or whatever in the change room, and like you can address Salah, and you probably don't even need to address Salah because he's leaving, in it. But how do you address all the other players? Yeah, obviously he's done him dirty. Like I think he's just put pressure on a Slot now to say, like, do you play him in his last game? Because obviously you want to send him off, play him in his last game, and kind of cut ties and let him go with a reception, whatever. But if I'm Slot, I'm not gonna lie. Like, as in personally, like you doing that in public, I'm not gonna play you.
Play you. Don't turn up on Sunday.
I'll be honest with you. I think that could be the worst. Would it be the worst thing he does if Slot do that? Because the fans are already against him, right? So you now don't give the club legend give him opportunity to say goodbye. You just don't want that heat on yourself. I think the best thing to do is either let him start, take him off after a while so he can get clapped off, or bring him on for the last 5-10 minutes so the fans can cheer him, clap him on, whatever it is. What you don't want to do is bring more heat on yourself. If you don't allow a club legend, regardless what he thinks of Salah, like, you need to allow him to say goodbye to the fans.
Tommy, I really want it.
Bro, if he doesn't,
I want the entertainment.
The thing is that I'm saying he has to, sorry, but like just personally from a personal point of view, like you want to out me in public like that? All right then, all right, let's go, let's do this. Obviously,
This is
like
why what
obviously,
Salah's done is so bad, because Slot is damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. If he don't play him, everybody hates him. If he does play him,
everybody hates him already.
They're not going to respect him. So he's cooked, basically. Either way, he's cooked.
Yeah, you're right. Either way, it's cool. But for me, I would take the high road if I was a manager. I can start again come the new season. True. I can try and win. I still got another opportunity to win the players back. Still got another opportunity to win the fans back.
Yeah, I don't think
I do this. It doesn't look good on me.
Tom, I hear what you're saying, but you're talking like he still has he's a dead man walk. He has no more. He's gone. They just Salah literally shot him in the head, and he doesn't know it yet. He doesn't know it yet. It's like the head's dead, but the bodies are still alive. That's Slot. The head's dead, but the body's still alive.
Yeah, no. What Salah did was bad.
Salah killed him. Slot's career at Liverpool's over.
The other thing I'll say about Salah's point as well is like, obviously, like he's going to be gone. So, but just say Slot leaves next season and they don't get the rock and roll football that they're talking about, like, as in it will just kind of highlight. And one thing, like in the Premier League, you don't really want to be going back and forward like that. You don't want to do punch for punch. Like Klopp got away with it because they just blew teams away. But if you ain't got this kind of strike force and understanding of players and the midfielders are workhorses under Klopp to allow that rock and roll football, if you get what I'm saying. And it's so. Yeah, like that rock and roll football ain't necessarily the way they definitely need to go. Like you do need to have a bit more control, a bit more. You can't just be going punch for punch with the firepower that some of these Premier League players have and whatnot. Playing to that.
I don't think they're players for that anymore either. Like, I don't think their squad is for that anymore.
Yeah, look, I think they just need to. I think they've already got a centre back already. I think he's supposed to be top centre back. So that's that situation sorted. I'm not sure what's happening with Conor Bradley, but
he's
Frimpong is not the one. The manager just look back into that right back situation. They need another centre.
But I don't get why they signed Frimpong in the first place. Because I
think Kirkus will be fine. I think Kirkus will. Obviously, his first season, he obviously had a brilliant season last season for Bournemouth. His first season in all, but I think I'll still give him another. I'm not saying, you know what? Let me take it back. I'm not going to say he's going to be fine, but I think if I was Liverpool, I would give him another opportunity because I think he's obviously demonstrated that he can do well in the Premier League. So Liverpool is a tough step up for him. So hopefully next season he can learn from all the mistakes this season and push on because he's still very young. But I think Frimpong he's going to struggle in the league. It may prove me wrong, but I'm not too sure he can cope with the physicality of the league. I think that's
he can't play right back in this league, and he's not good as a right winger. So his days are numbered as well.
Yeah. So I don't think they need or not numbers as well. I think they'll be fine. Liverpool.
My thing about Liverpool is like they just need a bit of steel and like so they need a bit more steel through the definitely midfield as well. And so what they do with that will be interesting.
Yeah. Look, let's round that up and just round it up with this week's games. In terms of United, we're not going to go into United. We'll discuss United on Thursday, as I said. Tune in on like a end of season conversation with like I think there's 4 or 5 of us that are going to be United fans. That'll be on the video, so it should be an interesting conversation. Congrats to Bruno for like his team. The rest of the team was working against him on that day. They were really working against him on that day. But like, congrats to him. He deserves it. If anyone deserves it, is Bruno. But we can touch on we can do our award at the end of maybe this Sunday. We can pick our team of the season, player of the season, and so forth on Sunday. All right, cool. Quick roundup. Villa has now made Champions League, confirmed by beating Liverpool. How do you think they get on Wednesday? Do you think they can win?
Oh, Europa League finals this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Oh wow. Yeah, bro, that's Emery's Cup, man. That's Emery's Cup. As soon as they were in the competition, we should have already known.
Yeah, I don't like the way the media were kind of saying like they were kind of pointing towards either Villa or Notts Forest winning it, and I do think it will be a tough final.
Yeah.
For them. Yeah, I do think they've got the firepower. They've got the I love their midfield in it, so yeah, I think they can do it. And Emery, as you said, that's his cup in it. So
we have like the teams that are fighting for like that Europa League spot and Conference League spot. We obviously mentioned that none of them won. Brentford drew to Palace. Everton lost to Sunderland. Sunderland are now put themselves in a good position to also get one of those positions as well. Who do you think? And obviously Chelsea still got to play tomorrow. Who do you think gets that position? So if 6th, 7th, and 8th place are for grab, who gets it? So 3 teams. I think Bournemouth will definitely get a spot.
I'm looking at the table now. The first thing that sticks out to me is just how bad Chelsea's form is. The last 5, lost 4, drawn 1. But I think
you said the last game of the season.
Say again, sorry.
Who Sunderland got?
They got Chelsea.
They got us.
Sending at home to Chelsea.
Listen, we just need Chelsea to win tomorrow. That's all I really care about.
Yeah, I think I'd say probably Bournemouth, Brighton, and Chelsea get those 6th place to 8 spots, and then we'll just see who gets whichever order it is. But I think those are the 3 in my opinion.
Yeah, I think if you win tomorrow, it makes it interesting spectacle against Sunderland on Sunday, because if they can still go ahead of you, right? If they beat you on Sunday.
Yeah. Because we'll be on, if we win tomorrow, we'll be on 52. Sunderland will be on 51. So it'll be interesting.
Okay, so
I'm back in Sunderland. Come on, I'm saying Bournemouth, Sunderland, and don't know about Brentford though, man. Like, yeah, I think it might be a bit too like United are going to be focused on beating Brighton or getting the assist for Bruno. So yeah, it's either between Brentford and Brighton as well for me.
Gonna be a match for the first time. Hopefully, you guys can beat Brighton. Do us a little favor.
Oh, you want a favor, huh?
So one-time deal.
Send us some money, or send Cole Palmer back home. We can think of it.
Send the Garnacho. And one get one free. You wanted them last year. Buy one get one free.
No. All right, and then the West Ham are obviously struggling. If Spurs gets a draw, I think Spurs pretty much only needs 1 more point in the last 2 games.
Chelsea, bro, Habib, you need your boys.
Is either they get the point against you.
To win the game. Why West Ham keep losing for?
No, West Ham will win on Sunday. West Ham will look.
West Ham has got Leeds on Sunday, so
Claret.
The league and the relegation battle can potentially be over tomorrow. Can potentially be over. So it will be Sunday won't be as good. So I hope that Chelsea wins. I hope. You know what? To be honest, I don't mind. You know what? I don't really mind Chelsea drawing because I want Fernandes now. Oh, Saeed, you know what? I've been wanting to give you your credit because you mentioned him to me.
Oh, Mateus Fernandes,
And I thought, nah, I'm not too sure. But maybe what is sweetening me is because we'll get him for cheaper. Because if West Ham gets relegated, it's not a bad deal. It's not a bad deal.
I was pissed off with him on the weekend though. Like, as in, he didn't like. Yeah. I wanted to expect him
So-
to.
So I wouldn't mind, because I've been saying I think we need 3 central midfielders. So I wouldn't mind getting them for like 30 million or so for if they get relegated, whatever it is. That wouldn't be bad for us. A 30 million midfielder, and we can focus on other deals as well. So yeah, look. So I don't mind Spurs drawing and West Ham going down, basically. And we can, and maybe Bowen as well. We can not actually. We don't need Bowen. We don't need Bowen. You don't need him. But yeah,
You just shot people.
I'm just trying to think who we can get.
Somerville.
No, I don't want Somerville. No, you can take it though.
Okay.
Looks like a Chelsea player. Somerville's it seems like another Garnacho really for me. But Toby, yeah, I'm not really a fan of Somerville. Not that I'm not a fan. I like him as a good player, but it's just I don't think he's at the level.
Yeah, the empire that ain't there.
Yeah, it's just not at the levels. Is it? And it's not too consistent. It's inconsistent.
Yeah,
So-
that too.
Yeah, true.
So-
That's true.
Yeah, so that's it. Look, I think that's it really. Let's wrap it up. I think we got one more final. I think we got final episode, one more weekend roundup final episode. But I do think we either do a final roundup on Sunday and then do our team of the week midweek. And maybe we do like a preview for Champions League or something. Or I think maybe we should all meet up and watch the Champions League together and celebrate Arsenal's demise. Who knows?
I can't give you something for that at all.
That's it.
But look, we got one more episode on Sunday, just a weekend roundup. Yeah, that's it really. It's been an interesting season. We go into it more details on Sunday. We'll run things up. So but before we jump off, people, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let me cover Saeed's face because he's been complaining that this has been going on his face. I need more subscription, man. So please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. As I said earlier at the beginning of the video, that we normally take a break during summer, but I am going to record. Whether like some of the boys want to jump on some of the recording when the signings going on, I'm more than happy. But I'm gonna definitely record throughout the summer. I'm already going to the World Cup, so there'll be World Cup vlogs happening. So there's going to be a lot going on in the summer. So please don't miss out. Subscribe, click the like button, turn on your notification to know whenever we upload, and comment, man. Let us know what your thoughts on today's discussion, and let us know if you have any questions for us. All right, boys, back on Sunday, man. Yeah, peace.